are you? Good. All right.
Welcome to the fellowship. All those that are here and those that are watching virtually, thank you for joining us. At the fellowship, we recognize all encounters as holy, and we know that our time together is by divine appointment. Thank you. So, to start the service, let's do our opening song, which is Prayer of the Child of Love. Please rise. So before I start our opening meditation, I want to draw your attention to the card that we have in your packet. It's on your chair. And on the front, you have a part that you can fill out if you'd like to learn more about the fellowship, be on our mailing list, or receive information about upcoming events. You can fill that out, and when the collection comes, you can just drop it in there and we'll get in touch with you. Also on the back is a place for you to put names of people or situations that you'd like to be on our prayer list. So feel free to fill that out as you need to. And like again, I said, let's put this into the basket during our collection. So let's begin our service with a meditation. So find a comfortable spot that you're in. Possibly you might want to close your eyes. This is your time. This is a time just to relax, to let go. Embrace the silence. This is your home. The door is always open to you. Let's do some breathing together. We'll do a series of 3 of O, Om. We'll repeat that 3 times. and we'll resonate together. So do it with me. With the vibration of God. We are never alone. We are connected. And through our vibrations, we can connect and feel that. Our mind is at peace. No longer searches for answers, turns and spins. It rests, knowing that things are perfectly good. To rest in the peace of God. You are loved here amongst the presence of God. See if you can find a place in your mind where thoughts disappear, giving your mind a rest, a place of quiet, to be just still. And if a thought appears, you can focus on your breathing. I like to choose thinking about a single word. If I get disturbed or distracted, I think about the word brown. And when I say that to myself, it's something like it's a magic portal into a place of peace. Maybe you'll find it different. Okay, let's draw back into our world of form and shape. You can open your eyes and wiggle your fingers and toes and get back to your present. So, during the week I had a couple of things that that touched me, that I thought, some quotes that I thought there was something. Shakespeare wrote, Thoreau wrote, the price of anything is the amount of life you exchange for it. I thought that was pretty profound. And one that was a little more closer to our community is, for there is nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so. That was done by Shakespeare. And it really dovetails in the first lesson in the Course in Miracles that says, nothing I see in this room, on the street, in front of the window, in this place, means anything. We provide all the meaning there is to the things about us. So, at this time, we'd like to welcome our Tomiko and Maury, and please give them a hand.
Who can see where the road goes, where the day flows? your love cries only time. And who can say why your heart cries when your love lies only time. Who can say when the roads meet that love might be in your heart? And who can say when the roads meet that the night keeps all your heart? Night keeps all your Who can see where the road goes, where the day flows, only time? And who can say if your love grows as your heart shows, only time? Who knows? Only time. Who knows? Only time.
Thank you, that was lovely. And so, we're going to do a fellowship song, and it'll be found on page 2 inside of your booklet. It's called One Back. Please rise.
You can call it Allah, you can call it good. It's the peace and power found within. Some say it's a principle, some say it's a law. One spirit in the body never ends.
to do so.
At the end of the month, they have two funerals in this area. And if you can hold your male friend, that's very nice.
Okay. Well, this is the part of our service where our speaker comes forth. Our speaker today is our spiritual director, Mary Sabai. I'm looking forward to hearing her message, so let's give her a warm welcome.
Hello, everyone. Good to see all of you. Every Sunday, of course. It's good to see all of you. So, I'm going to be continuing on with reincarnation and specifically talking about Emmett Fox's views on reincarnation. And I just want to tell you that my daughter called this afternoon. And she said, and she knew my topic because she'll call me once in a while and she'll say, "What you doing?" And I'll say, "Working on my message for Sunday." And so we talked about it a little, and she called today and she said, "It's interesting that you're talking about reincarnation today. Want to know why?" Yeah. And I said, "Yes." And so it is interesting. She told me, she's, as many of you know, she's very much into astrology. So she told me that today, the lunar nodes, and mostly we hear about North and South Node, and the lunar nodes represent karmic themes, are at 0 degrees today. And that means that today, beginning today, we are all, in our own ways and in our own houses and themes, shifting into new karmic themes after 18 months of working through karmic themes in different houses. So, yes, it was interesting that we're talking about it today. She said that, we have released a lot in these past 18 months, and now we're moving into a new period where we'll enjoy the fruits of having released those things, but we'll also be running into things, new things that will push our buttons so that we can grow, which is always the case with life. It's just always growth. So last time I mentioned that I had run across this little booklet of Emmett Fox's called Reincarnation, Explanation and Description. It was published in 1939. And last Sunday, I began to talk about his views by mentioning that he says that when our soul enters this, our lifetime, in any lifetime, everything is forgotten. And if you, those of you who are here, remember him saying, mercifully, a veil of forgetfulness falls over us as we come into this world. Our soul comes into this world, because it would be much, much too difficult for us to manage the memory of all of the past lifetimes that we've had, and all of the memories, the ups and downs, the goods, the bads, the triggers. It just wouldn't be possible. But he did say that there will come a time for each and every one of us when we're able to look at every event in every lifetime objectively and without emotion, just for learning's sake. So today I want to continue on with Emmett Fox telling us that the whole history of all of our past lives is stored in our subconscious. And he says that our consciousness right now is the logical outcome of all the lives that we've lived up until now, and all of the decisions and choices that we've made in this lifetime from birth. So how do we come to be born into the particular families that we find ourselves in, with all of the possibilities? Now think about that. Not just parents, but places and countries and races and just every imaginable possibility. You found your way into the family that you were born into in this lifetime. So he explains this by telling us that we are born into the conditions that exactly fit our soul at the time of incarnation. All aspects of these parents and the location and what they're like and what the conditions are going to be in this growing period with these parents are just right and fit just correctly with your soul. So he says, rather than choosing our parents, which we have heard that before, we go to the parents where nature and conditions perfectly correspond to the state of our soul. And often it is not what we would choose if we were asked. If there was some way of saying, so here are the parents, here's the situation, do you want to plop yourself down in the middle of that? We might say no, thank you. But the universe has its laws, and they're always working, and we hear about these laws all the time at the fellowship, like attracts like, and our vibration, our consciousness is exactly perfect for those parents. Perfect for the opportunities that we need to develop further good qualities, to overcome weaknesses, overcome fear. And he also points out that some children feel out of place in their families. And I've heard this a number of times. People have said to me, I just don't even feel like, these are my parents. It just feels odd. But he said, without exception, these are the conditions needed for your specific further development. And that's one of the reasons I think that if we think about reincarnation and karma in the way that we're thinking about them today, that could answer some of those puzzling questions. Well, why am I here? And we could take a closer look at that. He says our external environment is always the outpicturing of our soul. Our human experience is always the consequence and outpicturing of our soul. So we come into this present lifetime with a level of consciousness and information, situations, conditions that perfectly match the outcome of all of our past lives. and we can call it karma, we can call it cause and effect, we can call it law of attraction, but the bottom line is we reap what we sow. And we hear that a lot, but how often do we really, really think about that in our daily activities? Our circumstances today, he says, are the outcome of our lives up to the present. Always we have free will, always the opportunity to choose and create our own life experiences. He also makes clear that karma is not punishment. It is just the natural outcome of what we have sown. So it may feel not so great. We might be suffering. We might have illness, whatever. But our suffering is because there is a lesson to be learned, an opportunity to be seized. And when it is learned, and when we do seize it, the ill consequences will cease immediately. Nature is never vindictive and never punishes. Nature teaches. So I think it might be important for us to ask ourselves about something that, whatever we might be grappling with or struggling with right now in our life experience, how long have we been struggling with this particular issue? I think that's an important question to ask ourselves. And do we still want to be struggling with it 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 lifetimes from now? Emmett Fox says that it is so unfortunate that there's so much talk about bad karma. That seems to be the focus of it. You know, what's happening that's bad, and what did I do before that I might be paying off? But he says that karma is not bad at all, and that dwelling on the suffering that follows and ignores the happiness and all of the good things in our lives. So just like the teaching, law of attraction teaching, or our vibration is an attraction to exactly the situations that come into our lives, we really doesn't serve us to dwell on the idea of bad karma. He says that every good, kind, and wise thing that we've ever said and done has brought you the fruit of the same and will continue to do so. So that's pretty wonderful to remember. Most of the trouble in our lives is not caused by karma at all, he says, but rather lack of wisdom, poor choices, and poor judgment in the present. But an understanding of reincarnation and karma, whatever you want to call it, can solve a lot of life's riddles. And it can provide us with a source of guidance, always pointing to those weaknesses and opportunities in places where we need to grow in love. And when we think about our lives in that way and all of our experiences every day, if we would just be a little bit more aware of that, we could follow those paths. When I taught my class in the jail, one of the most frequent concerns that I heard and frequent questions that I got had to do with karma. And they would, ask me or say to me, Mary, I've done some really bad things in my life. Am I doomed to suffer the karmic consequences of that? Or is there something that I can do to turn that around? Well, I assured them that there was. Yes, you can turn it around. And Emmett Fox assures us that no matter what mistakes we've made or what opportunities we may have missed, they can all be overcome. For the future stretches out to infinity, and it is never too late with God. That just gives me goosebumps. Maybe not in this lifetime, but most certainly in another. We do not have to accept any conditions or any kind of karma if we rise above it in consciousness. And as we all have, remember Albert Einstein's quote, we can't solve a problem with the same level of consciousness that created it. That's exactly what Emmett Fox is saying. So his steps, becoming our karma, a karmic theme, are cease the conduct that is producing the negative result. Put the shovel down. Stop digging the hole, right? Make reparation if possible. Make peace with God. And then turn your back on it and don't think of it again. Move forward. And that's where we get into our teachings of find those story loops that keep going in our minds and stop them. Look away, move forward, and we can rise above of any obstacle, any problem, any challenge, and we can be free of it. When I was reading through this booklet, just the most wonderful feelings of freedom and liberation came over me. Just how wonderful it is to realize, to understand that it is never too late. It's never too late. There is no mistake. And there's no limit to the glorious things that we can be and do in our lifetimes. But we must use our time here to overcome fear and to grow in love, to become more tolerant and merciful, kind and compassionate, more loving. So being gentle with ourselves, we identify every opportunity, every life experience. And here's where I think again, Shakespeare, all the world is a stage, and we are only actors in it or players in it. We can step back. We can, put our little egos down to the side for a while, step back and use our higher self, our divine mind, our soul, and look at the situation in front of us. What's going on here? What's happening in my life? And what is this struggle all about? What is the lesson here? Because there is one. In every positive and negative experience, we find the gift that we're grateful for. A gift that is a lesson and a blessing. So I'm going to invite you to join me in a little reflection, as I usually do. So if you would close your eyes again, please, and just relax. Find your way back to that place that Richard took you earlier on. And let's take 2 deep breaths together. Breathing in and all tension out. Breathing in and out. So I'm going to ask you to bring to mind a challenge, a problem, a difficulty that you might be dealing with, aware of. Bring this to mind. And then become aware of the tension in your body, in your mind, in your heart that comes with this situation as you have been perceiving it. the resistance, the pushback, the sadness, the anger, the emotions. And now I invite you to go to your heart space and open it wide. From your true nature, from your true center, one with the loving divine presence of God. Open your heart wide. And through divine eyes, see the good in this situation. We don't have to do this alone. We are connected with love. Where are the blessings hiding in this situation? And let love ease your doubts and remind you that the universe is a place of balance and harmony. You can feel the energy shift. You can feel the universe adjusting itself to this new balance. And as that tension fades away, you can replace it with the realization that this is the beginning of a new phase, a new chapter with fresh opportunities. Just make mental note of what those opportunities are. What is the gift? Why has it been hiding where it's hiding? And shift that energy to love. Okay, you can bring yourselves back to the room, and hopefully you won't forget if you had a good experience or found some information. And I'll just leave you with a quote from Emmett Fox. It must be remembered that this earth life can be a most interesting and joyous process in itself. For this is a wonderful world, and your sojourn here can be a series of wonderful and joyous adventures, if only you will learn the laws of life and apply them. You are not obliged to be sick or sad or lonely or frustrated or unsuccessful. This life and the many lives that follow it can be made interesting and joyous and free. And we have an eternity to experience it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. We sing together on page 35, Our Thoughts, Our Prayers. Our thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers, take charge of what you're saying. See the higher consciousness, a state of peacefulness, and know
appreciated your words. So at this time of the service, we are taught in A Course in Miracles that giving and receiving are one in truth. Every one of us benefits, and our community as a whole thrives because of your generosity. Thank you so much for your generous donations and support of the work of the fellowship. So John will be passing the basket at this time, and if you have request cards, please drop them in the basket at this time. Whether you are preparing your gift now or doing it online, please hold your tithe or gift in consciousness and join me as we bless our offering and affirm our abundance by reading together the blessing on the front of your bulletin. The light of divine love shines eternally, blessing and multiplying our tithes and offerings. I joyously give, knowing I always have enough to share and to spare. We'll take some time, a special moment, and join together in prayer, remembering those listed on the connection cards that you placed in this basket. Dear Holy Mother, please bless these people and situations with your love and understanding, that they may be bestowed with health and peace, that thy will be done here on earth as it is in heaven. Amen. So please join me in another fellowship song. It's The Rest of Our Life. You can find that on page 44 in your songbook. And then those that can, please stand and we will sing together.
The rest of my life is just beginning. The rest of my life will start today. I'm choosing this moment of my life to start the changes that will bring happiness and peace of mind to stay. I'm releasing the past with all its errors. The future will bring what I desire. And as I go along with life, I learn the way to live the rest of my life. I'll live in love. My divine plan is set.
So with the theme of reincarnation, we decided to do a tune that was recorded by Iris Dement called Let the Mystery Be. Everybody's wondering what and where they all came from. Everybody's worrying about where they're gonna go when the whole thing's done. No one knows for certain, it's all the same to me. I think I'll just let the mystery be. Some say once you're gone that you're gone forever. Some say you're gonna come back. Some say you go to the arms of the Savior if in sinful ways you lack. Some say you're coming back in a garden, bunch of carrots and a little sweet pea. I think I'll just let the mystery be. Everybody's wondering what and where they all came from. Everybody's worrying about where they're gonna go when the whole thing's done. But no one knows for certain, so it's all the same to me. I think I'll just let the mystery be. Some say they're going to a place called glory, and I ain't saying that in a fact. But I've heard that I'm on the road to purgatory, and I don't like the sound of that. I believe in love, and I live my life accordingly. So I'll choose to let the mystery be. Everybody's wondering what and where they all came from. Everybody's worried about where they're gonna go when the whole thing's done. No one knows for certain, and so it's all the same to me. I think I'll choose to let the mystery be. I think I'll just let the mystery be.
Thank you. That was delightful. So, some reminders. On Sunday, the 30th, is going to be our potluck, so please join us if you're in town. Healing Movements will be again on Monday evenings at 6 p.m. at the fellowship office. And we'll have a sound bath with Julie Rost on Wednesday, July 28th at 6:30 p.m. at the fellowship office. Are there any other announcements? Yes.
Mary has asked that anyone who'd like to participate in a couple of songs when we do our fellowship celebration in September, get together and we can discuss what we want to sing and practice.
Well, that's a novel idea. I think that'd be great. Okay. Any other announcements? Okay. Well, thank you all for another fine service. And I'd like to thank Maury and Tomiko and Corey and Samantha and Mary for the lovely message. Let's give them a hand. Thank you for joining us this afternoon here in person and all of you out in the virtual world. So at this time, please like to do our peace circle and please join me.
the